right. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks so much for attending our University of Cincinnati College of Community Health and Prevention Science, our master's program here at the University of Cincinnati. Right now, we just want to get started with our mission and vision for the overall program. Something to note is that something within the University of Cincinnati is we really do strive to be student-centric, student-focused. And so you'll see that within all of our programs, and we'll touch on that as we kind of move forward throughout this entire presentation. But you can see there, we are a faculty commitment to active learning. What that really means is that we're dedicated to providing a world-class educational experience that provides flexibility for busy professionals, lifelong learners, and really just students from all around the world, right? So all of UC Online's programs are led by nationally recognized faculty. They help to combine innovation with freedom of intellectual inquiry to create an inclusive environment tailored towards the needs of UC Online students. We really work to make sure that all students feel welcome within our university, that they feel as if they're actively learning, and that they feel as if they're participating in their learning environment. So I want to go ahead and introduce Dr. Viderick. She's going to be our program director for the Masters of Community Health and Prevention Science. Go ahead and feel free to screenshot this slide if you would like, or email her directly with any sort of program questions. But Becky, did you want to say anything? Becky, you're on mute.
So sorry about that. So I'm just happy to be here and very excited to talk about the program and welcome you into the Community Health and Prevention Science program.
Awesome. So as we move forward, we get a lot of questions about this program as far as what is community health and prevention science. So right now, the kind of definition that we're utilizing for this program is that prevention science can be described as the methods and practices in place following evidence-based, data-driven decisions in the field of prevention to reduce risk-taking behaviors while promoting protective factors and integrating various sectors of the community and bringing about lasting community change. That's a lot of words. So what does that really mean? So what it really means in short is just that it's promoting initiatives to prevent negative health behaviors and create positive changes within communities for better health. We're influencing communities to create those positive changes, to influence positive community environments, and basically eliminating those negative health behaviors. So we'll kind of move through that, and you'll see some examples of that as we move through the curriculum. So the master's degree program is really designed to provide students with the fundamentals of prevention science and community health, learn to measure risk and protective factors that modify health behavior, and take those factors to potentially develop and implement prevention programs and interventions. Graduates of this degree program will also possess skills needed to positively impact communities through evidence-based prevention practices. So you can think of things like prevention specialists or community health specialists or substance abuse advocates or sexual assault, kind of proponents. So things like that are some of the careers that you'll see throughout this entire program. And examples of this you can see here is through our curriculum overview. You can see all the classes here. It's a lot of words. You can find this on our website. So if you really want to dive into the specific curriculum, but some of the classes that we like to call out, for this program is going to be research methods and health promotion and education that really provides that foundation to ensure that you're providing that health education research, making sure that you're understanding studies and how to utilize that to make sure you're making proper decisions within your community. Another class that you can really look into is grant writing and resource development. So if you're working within maybe a nonprofit sector or working within particularly like a local government, you involve yourself in a lot of grant writing and resource development. So we provide that sort of background to ensure that you are doing that properly and again, involving your community and making sure that you're successful. So overall, the total program is going to be 30 total credit hours. It includes courses on prevention science, health promotion, stress reduction, program planning, and many more. There's a couple electives within certain kind of fields within health prevention that you can obviously add on to your program, if that's a certain field that you feel you're more passionate about. One thing to note as well is that this curriculum does help prepare students for state level and international certification and the CHESS exam, which is the Certified Health Education Specialist exam. That's just an additional certification you can add on to your program that by taking that exam once you complete it, just to make sure that you're standing out when you apply for positions as you move forward. And one thing to note as well is we are an online only program. All classes are 100% online. There's no sort of synchronous instruction. What that means is that you're able to basically log on, do your schoolwork, whatever time works best for you, which allows for that flexible schedule to ensure that you're being, following whatever life commitments you have, whether you have a family or you work a full-time job. We're understanding of that within this program. And so you can guarantee that all the classes will be 100% online. As we move forward with the admissions requirements, pretty standard across most graduate level programs, but we can walk through that here. So it is an online application. The application fee of $65 is waived for spring of 2023 and is waived for summer and fall. So if you are thinking about maybe progressing into those later semesters, you can guarantee that the application fee is waived at this moment. Part of the other admissions requirements is going to be a one letter of recommendation. We require that letter of recommendation to be a professional or academic reference, someone who can really speak to either your academic prowess or your professional life. We do not prefer to have a personal letter of recommendation. It just doesn't carry as much weight. So when you do request those references, keep that in mind of who you reference. A goal statement. This really just needs to be 500 words, just describes your passions within this program. What's your career goals? What are you looking to get out of it? This is a way for you to speak directly to the faculty in the program in a way that they can kind of understand, what has you interested in this program? What has you wanting to join us? What is your takeaways? What are you looking forward to learning about? And they can kind of mold that into the curriculum as we kind of progress forward. But moving forward, we do have a resume and then transcripts. I do want to make a note on the transcripts is that for this program and all of our graduate level programs, we do not require official transcripts. You only need to submit your unofficials. So you can typically log on to whatever school portal you got your bachelor's degree from, download that unofficial transcript, and go ahead and upload it into your application. And so as we kind of move forward here, you'll notice that there's no application fee. You don't have to upload official transcripts. So in reality, there's no sort of financial obligation as far as completing an application and kind of getting to that next step of, eventually hopefully getting that offer letter. As far as tuition, this is a lot of information as well. It's very specific to the type of student that you wish to be, whether you are a resident of Ohio, whether you're a non-resident, if you choose to be part-time or full-time. But overall, if you just want to break it down, part-time tuition is going to be $746 per credit hour. That's for someone who is a resident of Ohio. And there's only a non-resident surcharge of $15. A lot of different universities, you'll see kind of drastic pricing differences between a local or a resident of Ohio or state resident of whatever university that is and an out-of-state. Sometimes it can be double, sometimes it's even triple. So in reality, if you're out-of-state resident, we do provide that level of discount that you get as if you are almost a resident of Ohio. So the total cost per credit as a non-resident is going to be $761. And then if you choose to be a full-time student, that fee is going to be $7,451 per semester. One thing to note with a full-time student is that as long as you're above 10 credit hours, you're considered a full-time student. All the classes are 3 credit hours, so you basically will end up with 12 in order to get to that full-time status. But again, if you are a non-resident, that fee would then be $7,601. So just a little bit more, not a huge difference there. But also, if you are wanting to maybe complete this program a little bit faster, or you want to save a little bit of money, you can technically take more than those 12 credit hours all the way up to 18. So that would be 2 additional courses and pay that same flat fee for the full-time total cost per semester. So that does allow a little bit of savings in there. We don't necessarily recommend that as a graduate level student. That's a lot of classes to be taken at one time. It is a very heavy workload, but it is possible. So it is something to consider. And then Dr. Bitterick, if you want to go ahead and touch on just the career outlook as far as this program is concerned, we do get a lot of questions about, what can I expect out of this program once I leave? What kind of jobs am I going to get?
Yeah, fantastic. So first of all, the job market for this field is growing compared to other types of fields. It's about 17% growth expected compared to 5%, so significantly higher. The types of jobs, there's so many different opportunities out there right now. So the nice thing is you can kind of pick and choose where you'd like to go. So in general, we see the title of prevention specialist, but that could be working in the substance abuse field. It could be doing mental health or suicide prevention. It could be with health disparities. It could be with social determinants of health. So there's a variety of different opportunities within that title. However, as Devin mentioned earlier, there's other positions available, such as a sexual assault coordinator, a government researcher. It could be a community health educator or a senior health educator. And all of these positions are the type of position that someone with this degree could obtain. So that's the fantastic thing about this degree program, is right now it is just a huge opportunity. You can take it in a lot of different directions. There's a lot of different positions out there. The starting pay is relatively strong right now as well. So you could expect, on average, I would say about $60,000, which is really good for this particular job market. And then also, just to refer back to the different certifications as well, before we get more specifically into some of this, with the different certifications, we have set up this degree program so that students can obtain different types of credentialing. So the first one is the prevention specialist from the International Certification and Reciprocity Consortium. So this is an international certification, and students who complete this degree can be eligible to apply to sit for that particular exam. Within the United States, all 50 states have some type of state level prevention specialist exam. And again, we worked with the different agencies in order to set up the degree so that students can be eligible to apply to sit for those state exams as well. So this different states do have different rules and requirements, but we've set up the degree to cover the major portions of these exams, no matter where, of these exams where, no matter where you are in the United States. So it's also important to know that the prevention specialist certification is actually the gold standard. So these are the types of credentials you want if you want a degree in prevention science. If you obtain these degrees, it can often result in a pay bump. So it might not necessarily be required for a position, but if you do have that credential, you actually can start out making more money than someone who does not obtain that credential. And then finally, we have the Certified Health Education Specialist credential, which students who graduate from this program are also going to be eligible for. So that credential is through the National Commission on Health Education Credentialing. And that also is the gold standard certification in the community health field. So the nice thing is you have different opportunities. You don't have to obtain these credentials, but they are available to you upon completion of this degree program. And again, it can make you more marketable, and you're able to kind of then pick and choose what type of job or career you'd like to obtain upon graduation. So then, as I mentioned, the job market right now, the career outlook is so good for this particular field. It's just growing by leaps and bounds, not only with the pandemic, also with all the opioid crisis, mental health issues. It's just a booming time for prevention science and community health. So in addition to what I mentioned previously, other positions are program evaluators, research analysts, administrators, foundation program officers, grant evaluators, program coordinators for grant-funded research, and then university positions such as extension faculty. So again, depending on your interests, if you're somebody who wants to be in the field talking to people, those types of jobs are available. Or maybe you're somebody who really likes research and data, and that type of positions also open. So it's a really nice marketable degree for you upon graduation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, thanks so much for sharing some of those information about their careers. It is a niche field for sure, but opens up to a lot of variety of different sort of careers that you can kind of move forward into the program. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and take any questions that we have. Some of the questions that are popular with a lot of students is, how am I supported in this program? As a graduate level student, it's been maybe 4 years or 10 years ago since I was last in school. I'm a little nervous about that. What kind of resources does the University of Cincinnati provide for me to make sure that I'm successful? So one of those such resources is going to be what we call a student success coordinator. And that person really is built to be your personalized support, making sure that you are getting all the resources, that you have kind of that one contact that's there to answer any questions. They'll help engage with you as far as making sure that you're on track for graduation, taking the right courses. They'll do check-ins with you at the beginning of the program, and sometimes do like a little bit of a mid check-in to ensure that you're getting that kind of proper learning from the faculty, that if you have a question, you can kind of get that answer. And I know, Dr. Benrick, you wanted to add a little bit to that as far as like how the faculty supports students.
Yeah, so first of all, we have students from all walks of life. We have full-time students, we have part-time students, we have students right out of their bachelor's, we have mid-career change. And so you will find people similar to you no matter what your life circumstances. And so that's the fantastic thing that we like to see, because students feel very supported just within their peers, but then also the faculty. We're very used to the online environment. Currently, I'm teaching online. I have students all across the globe. I'm still able to connect with them, whether it's through virtual meetings or phone calls, whatever it is. I want them to feel connected to my class. And so we're very used to that. We want you to feel part of that UC experience, even if you're not, in our city or state. We're very open and available and used to this environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that from the last previous semester, we did have some students that were located all across the US. Moving forward into this upcoming semester, we already have a student that's located in Hawaii. So we have a lot of different movement. It's available for anyone, whether you are a resident of Ohio or not. So, please keep that in mind if you are located out of the state. One of the other questions that a lot of students ask is this program designed to be flexible for working professionals or families? We sort of touched on that throughout the beginning of the presentation, and the fact that all the classes are completely online. They're all asynchronous, meaning you don't have to log on for any sort of live instruction at any time. But something else I want to add to that as well is that you can schedule courses at your own pace. So if you decide that you want to start into this program as a part-time student, you only want to take 2 classes, you can do that. And then maybe you're leading into the summer semester, you have family vacations or you have other things that are kind of coming up in your life, you could take that semester off. That you're not going to be prevented from being able to sign up for classes for the next semester. And what that really means is it allows for you to connect back with your student success coordinator at a time that you're going to be a successful student and pick back up the next semester. And so, please keep in mind that if you are working, that this program absolutely provides that sort of flexible learning environment to be successful. And something else that another important question is can I do the program part-time and still be successful? Absolutely. You could do the program part-time. You don't have to be a full-time student. If you like kind of touching on what we just answered in the previous question, if you only want to do 1 or 2 classes, you can absolutely do so and still be on track for graduation. The program would take a little bit longer. The total program is 30 credit hours. It's designed to be completed within 1 year. But if you are a part-time student, you can expect to add about 2 to 3 more semesters and complete it within 2 years, and still be on track of getting that degree. And then as we kind of focused on a lot of the different careers and curriculum, you'll notice that there's a lot of health related kind of topics or research health topics. So is there a specific undergraduate major that you need to have to be successful or enter this program? And the answer is no. We accept all majors. So if you're a bachelor's in social work, or if you have a bachelor's in psychology, or maybe a bachelor's in political science, and you feel like you really are wanting to take a career in influencing communities with positive health initiatives, then this program is really designed for you. If you have a passion within substance abuse prevention or alcohol abuse prevention, this can be a program that's really designed for you to be able to take those passions, get that master's degree, and be able to take your career to the next level. And then, Dr. Bitter, I don't know if there's any other questions that you wanted to add that you seem like you get with a lot of students, but as far as from kind of the recruiting side, that's tend to what we hear more often.
Yeah, so the one question that I do tend to get just in general from students is, what are faculty interest areas? They're very curious what we study and what we kind of focus on here at UC. Well, first of all, so the program falls within health promotion and education, and there's 11 faculty. So of that, 3 are core for the prevention science program. In general, we focus on child and adolescent health issues, social determinants of health, and health disparities. And then, so Dr. King, Dr. Marianos, and I tend to work on child and adolescent health issues and focus a lot on health disparities within substance abuse and mental health issues. And so we focus on things like secondhand smoke prevention within low-income families. We focus on things like suicide prevention. I focused recently on doing a study with African Americans and suicide prevention, trying to figure out what are risk factors for them, and then developing an intervention that actually can help prevent and reduce the rates of suicide among that population. So those are just a few of the different topics that we've touched on. But in general, if you kind of align with that, health disparities, child and adolescent health, social determinants, you're going to love the course content, and we would love the opportunity to work with you as well then.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have any sort of additional questions, here's our contact information. Feel free to go ahead and visit our Masters in Community Health and Prevention Science webpage for more information. You can find a lot of information about additional curriculum. If you need more information as far as tuition, if you want our financial aid office, a lot of that stuff can be found on the website as well. And apply for free. The application fee is waived. We do still have plenty of time to go ahead and register or to apply for this program. The application deadline is not until December 12th. So we have over a month at this point as of the date of this presentation. And we'd love to have you. So, again, there's no sort of financial obligation. You just need to complete the application in order to be reviewed. At that point, you can kind of figure out if this program is going to be the great fit for you. And again, if you have any additional questions, go ahead and email onlineenrollment@uc.edu. That email is going to be our general box for any sort of questions relating to application or admissions questions or program information. But feel free to go ahead and email me as well. My email is blakesdw@ucmail.uc.edu, and I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for attending.